This video is part 2 to 2016's video commentary. If you haven't seen part 1, be sure to do so. This video will cover everything from the quest for last rites to the rest of the year. The quest for last rites. Everyone seems to remember Scream from this one. I bought the bobblehead for the sole purpose of putting it in this video. He also stars in the Monster Dog video since everybody seems to like him so much. What I love about this video is that it has everything. Pirates, treasure hunting, tit jokes, the everyman struggle of haggling, the dreams and inspirations of making internet videos for money, bank robbing, skinny puppy, and even a love affair. It's a white whale story with great production values. Last Rites is my favorite Skinny Puppy album, so getting the vinyl was a massive deal for me. People have asked, did you really spend $350 on that album? Yes, I wanted to cry. Now, originally the album was $400, but I called the store and asked them if they could haggle a little bit, maybe go to $250 or $300, but they wouldn't budge. They could only go to $350. Bastards. Not that there's a chance of the album being repressed soon, nor any of the other Skinny Puppy albums for that matter, but even if they were to get repressed, Network might fuck them up and only press the left channel and leave the right one blank or something. I'm telling you, that label is totally whacked. The Tim Burton and Danny Elfman music box. Funny story, months after I filmed this, I decided that I didn't really need it anymore, so I sold it on eBay. The guy who bought it said that it was a birthday gift for his daughter. But the guy emailed me after it arrived, and he told me that the top had come undone during shipping, and this led to the CDs being cracked and the box being broken beyond repair. I got an email with pictures of the box, and it just broke my heart. I should have just thrown it from a hotel window. After I quickly refunded his money, he replied asking, "You wouldn't happen to run a YouTube show called Killbot&GorGor, would you?" I said, "How did you know that?" And he said, "Well, out of excitement, I looked at videos of the box set on YouTube today, and the floor patterns in one of the videos matched the floor patterns in your pictures." However, a lot of people forget that I'm not just into metal, I also really love punk, and I enjoy the hell out of industrial. Getting into industrial was made because I had a hard time finding starting places all in one place. My information came from several different blogs, websites, and pages, but none of them talked about what albums to go for. That's why I try to go in depth about what albums to get first and the differences between the bands. On the same subject, it can also be difficult to find good books on the genre. Assimilate, A Critical History of Industrial Music, did a good job explaining the history of the music, but I felt it was a pretentious mixed bag, so it had to be exposed. Chacarone Macarone's cover was made because if you listen to the original, it sounds like it could make a great grindcore song. So instead of hearing a repetitive drum beat over and over, you now have the option of hearing riffs played together. I was jacked up on Monster while filming, so that was helpful. I still think that it's far superior to the original. Postal got a Let's Play because it was my first time playing it, and I was having so much fun that I thought that it would be cool to start the first 2 levels over and start recording it. From the Nile video of 2015 onwards, I would film with my iPad exclusively. The iPad I used for these videos is 16 gigabytes, so I'll usually film until there's a lot of space taken up, and then import them into the computer to get some space back. After that, I can continue filming. Rinse and repeat. With the Postal Let's Play, I had 2 things going on at once. I was screen recording the gameplay footage with QuickTime, and then I had the iPad recording me. QuickTime could record the sounds of the game, but then I wouldn't be able to hear it for whatever reason. Therefore, I wouldn't be able to react genuinely to the game. This was going to be a big problem because if I couldn't hear the game, then I wouldn't be able to react to it. So I had to plug the laptop into the gaming chair and have the sound of the game and myself going into the iPad. Every 10 minutes or so, I had to save and stop the game to import the iPad footage before being able to continue. Wineglass metal covers was a creative take on classic death metal and thrash songs. I haven't seen any Wineglass covers of metal songs on YouTube, so it needed to happen. Not much to say here. The unaired Clerks pilot was a huge insult to me. Clerks had been one of my favorite movies since I was a kid, so this show really pissed me off. It'd be better if a short review of it was made to save unsuspecting viewers some time and pain. Better to sit through 7 minutes of me examining it, rather than spending 23 minutes pulling your hair out over the whole episode. I got really excited over the new Ghoul album, Dungeon Bastards, and having made videos on them in the past, I asked in advance if I could use songs from the album for the video. They gave the okay and I got to work. I got plenty of funny looks while filming on the ramp. The amplifier I destroyed was a broken bass amp. It would have cost more money to fix it than it would have just to buy a new one, so I set it ablaze. Essentially, you have the first half of the video of me being wild, and the second half doing the actual review. I think most collectors can agree that we pull all of our shit out when something can be added to our collections. Probably the most fun I've ever had making a video at that point. After that was the drum mic video. I did that simply because I overlooked my options with my drum mics, and I had to expose them. Elmo Sings Pantera came from a private joke between friends and I over the years. You can't spell Philip H. Anselmo without Elmo, so we'd imagine Elmo singing Pantera. A segment for I'm Broken was filmed but taken out because I didn't think it was that funny. I think there's only so much of Elmo that everybody can take before they want to kill themselves. I hate Elmo. Some people responded with, "Ooh, somebody's holding the doll," and "Why couldn't you use green gloves?" Because it wouldn't be as funny if he was by himself. I think holding him helped make it funnier. Seriously, have a sense of humor once in a while. Also, I really don't think that it's wise to spend lots of money on a puppet that I'm going to set on fire and decapitate at the end of the video. So what needed to happen for this video happened. Plus, I didn't realize how expensive some of these Elmo dolls were until I looked on eBay for some for the video. Man, some of these Elmo dolls go for $50, $60 a piece. So I had to buy a really small one. Before I could even do this episode, I had to watch a couple episodes of Elmo's World to familiarize myself with his mannerisms. There's more to Elmo than just his voice. He has his laugh and he has his catchphrases too. So I needed to capture it all in the video. Watching those episodes was one of the worst experiences in my adulthood. It reminded me of how I was traumatized as a child because of that red bastard. I wanted him dead after that, so I made sure that it was taken care of. Sandwiched between the next Sesame Street metalization was the Dying Fetus comic review. I had a hard time finding reviews for it online, but the comic was cheap and it had Dying Fetus's name on it, so I figured why not. Vince Bruzio was impressed by my review, so he sent over the autopsy comic. I didn't even know that there was a physical copy of that comic until he offered to send it, but that video would come later. Cookie Corpse's tour announcement. This is what happens when the comment section gives you ideas. I bought a Cookie Monster doll, then sat down with a pen and paper and thought of some good song title names. After the video Obstacles Young Metalhead's Face came a Cookie Corpse song. It's always been said that Cookie Monster did great growls, he just needed a band behind him. Hammer Smash Cookie was really fun to make. I took the original instrumental Hammer Smash Face and down-tuned it to C for Cookie. It was hard to film all of this without eating all the cookies though. For a good hour, I had to stare at a box of cookies without eating them. Obstacles Young Metalhead's Face became the most viewed video of the year. The script was written in 2 days, and shooting and editing took a whole day. Funny how this didn't have as much effort put into it as Quest for Last Rites or even the Gorgrind video, but it gets more recognition. I guess people just enjoy when I sit down and talk about metal. This thing needed to cover as much as it could, so I asked friends for things that I could add to the script. My mistake when I first uploaded it was that I said mortician instead of mortification when I was referring to Christian metal. I didn't realize this until after I uploaded the video, so before it got to 200 views, I had to take it down and re-upload it with the corrected sentence. I still can't believe I missed that one. I guess sometimes I get so excited to upload a new video that I overlook some of the mistakes by accident. But I was inspired to make the video after watching a video titled Obstacles Young Atheist's Face. Some of the comments were a bit sad, with some viewers describing how they have to cut their hair and the scrutiny they face at family gatherings. There were also some people who were just being assholes by saying that none of these obstacles actually happen, and that the scenarios are ridiculous. Or they said, "Oh, you were born in the wrong generation," or that this video is only for people who care about what other people think. What rock are you living under? Maybe these things don't occur so often in major cities, but not everybody can live in a major city. I mean, metal may not have quite the notoriety as it did back in the 1980s and 90s, but if you read some of the comments, you can easily see that this is still an issue judging by some of these stories. Of course, not everything that I talk about in the video happens to everybody, but some of these things do happen to some people, so it's important to address these. Of the things I want to accomplish with the channel, sometimes I make videos to provide comfort for the viewers. This could mean talking about problems or relatable things with them. They could also get comfort from me pointing them in the direction of bands they either haven't heard of or already know but want a different perspective. I have a wide variety of viewers. Some of them are young and don't have a lot of metal friends, so maybe they can enjoy a video where someone else is talking about their music. All the time I get questions asking what my opinion on a band or album is, and I used to wonder why I got so many of them. I think in general, people look for companionship in any way they can, and they'll use things that they like as a tool. You know, an icebreaker. What this leads to is another big thing that I'm trying to encourage, which is not to let yourself be beaten down by these social conditionings and to think for yourself. If my videos reach people on a tangible level like that, then I've done my job. All in all, I'm really happy with the way this video turned out. Door to Door Metal. It needs to be known that this video was insanely difficult to make. I think I invited 15 people to be in the video, and a bunch of people had problems with cameras and scheduling while others were moving away. As a result, this video took 3 months to make. The first 4 scenes were shot in a week, but the last 2 scenes I desperately needed kept getting away from me because everybody I invited kept canceling. Finally, Liz came to visit one day and said she'd be in the video. Derek and I went to school together, so I saw him at a convenience store one night and he agreed to be in the video at the last minute. People keep saying, why don't you actually go door to door instead of staging it? Well, I mean, I'd love to do that, but the thing is, where I filmed it, it wouldn't have been as funny. And also, I don't have a reliable film crew to be able to do that with. I'd love to do that, but I mean, it won't happen unless I know people who have enough time on their hands to be able to walk with me for a day or two. I mean, you gotta keep in mind that I do these videos mostly on my own. I don't have an editor, I don't have anyone to hold the camera, I don't have a team of writers, I don't really have anyone to show the videos to before I upload them. It's just a matter of doing what you can with what you have until you have the means to do something better. My favorite part of this was when Nick was playing the religious fanatic. I got him into metal years before, so he was quick to enroll in the cast. Little does everyone know that he's an atheist in real life, so I knew he was gonna ham that up just right. It also meant that I could ask him to play an obsessive Christian without worrying about offending him. Just to push him over the edge, I told him, okay, I want you to look off the camera and I want you to say, I love Rainbow Skittles. Only then did it occur to me that sometimes I ask my actors to do embarrassing things for me. Mosh the Pendulum's marathon was started in late June. I got the idea from Cinemassacre because James Rolfe announced that 2016 might be his last full-fledged year of Monster Madness. So I thought, why not do something similar with music? The first 2 videos that were filmed were the Skinny Puppy albums, and it shows. I don't know what the hell I was thinking with those shirts and that big chair. Every week I would go to the library and write an album review as I listened to it. If I wasn't in the mood for writing, I would film my reviews. It was nice to film 4 or 5 videos back to back in some sessions. In mid-September I started editing because I knew that it was going to be a nightmare. In any case, it's always better to work ahead. But with these videos, I got burnt out from editing. Quick. 31 videos of me sitting in front of my closet talking the whole time is just boring as hell to edit. For this reason, if I do a marathon like this again, it probably won't be for 31 days. The trouble was that I couldn't come up with a name for the marathon. Liz and I were brainstorming ideas of videos we could do one night, and then she rolled off some names. She said Mosh the Pendulum, and then I paused. That's it. There were plenty of benefits to doing the marathon. I had more videos, which meant that I could appeal to fans of different bands. Plus, the YouTube algorithm seems to work in your favor when you have more than 100 videos, which I was near at the point of starting this marathon. Also, there were bands that I felt like were good enough to deserve their own videos, like Abscess and Ripping Corpse, so this was filling a gap. Another benefit was that I could talk about bands I wanted to talk about for a while, but couldn't figure out what to do. His Hero Is Gone and Hemorrhage are bands I've wanted to make videos on forever, but I couldn't think of what to do with them, so I got it all out with Mosh the Pendulum. Some of these videos exist to address criticism for past videos. I got some criticism for glossing over Nitzareb in the Industrial video, so in Velvet Acid Christ review, the opening sentence was, "It's better than Nitzareb," reinforcing my opinions. Also, Necrophasia's Season of the Dead was to address the first death metal album issue, since many people named that album in the comments section of the Scream Bloody Gore vs. Seven Churches video. While the marathon was going on, I could work on several other videos. Autopsy's comic video was made, the Holidays video was uploaded on October 28th, but wasn't published until December because I was waiting for the right time to do so. Everyone begged me for a part 2 of Bathory's catalog, so I wanted to make sure the episode had more variety and looked better than the first. I figured I could also make some personal videos too, such as the Battle Jacket video and the one on my favorite albums. Bathory Part 2 was meant to be the first video of November, but I figured that everybody would be tired of me reviewing things and would rather watch a skit. This is how Metalhead Kills a Zombie happened. Liz's humor bounced off my humor, so much so that she couldn't stop laughing while filming, so we had to retake a bunch of shots. Trust me, there are some amazing outtakes. I had a friend come over so that way we could record the guitar tracks for the video, since he was a much better guitar player than I was. Some of these guitar tracks were later used in the Monster Dog review. Just like in 2015, a video on Donkey Kong needed to be made. I knew Nintendo wasn't going to mention Donkey Kong Country 3 turning 20, so maybe I could make a simple retrospect on the game. A lot of people who review or play the game have the same story. They played the first 2 when they came out, but they didn't play the third one until years later. I grew up with the game, so maybe my take can be different. Perhaps you'll notice that my hair was straight for the video. And this is because I was shooting footage for the Monster Dog review on the same day. Monster Dog, the big one. This is the one where the Metal Monster and I collaborated. Jeffrey sent me an email in October asking if I'd be interested in collaborating with him. He sent a few of his videos and I thought they were funny, so I said, hey, for the metal. He only had a few videos up at the time, so I didn't know who he was yet. He commented on my door-to-door video before he even sent the email, so I didn't think much of it. Over a couple of Skype calls, we threw around some ideas. It had to be a movie review because he has his Metalhead Watches videos, and it would be a cool, simple foundation to make a video around. There were a couple of different candidates, such as Rock and Roll Nightmare and Metalhead. However, given that we're both Alice Cooper fans, we agreed on Monster Dog. A Google Doc was shared so that way we could script it. Over time, we would send each other footage and voiceovers via Google Drive. It was nice to collaborate with a channel that's a few states away from me. Before I even put his voiceover into the video editor, I listened to it on its own and just laughed my ass off. I wanted this video to seem like a big deal, so I had 2 fans and friends make artworks for the video. Both were compensated very well. The chant in the intro combined the Evil Dead chant as well as various Morbid Angel lyrics. The big concern for the video was that we both have a good chemistry. This meant that we should insult each other and play off of each other's jokes. In the last week of production, Jeffrey and I had everything filmed except for the endings, which we hadn't figured out yet. We had 3 different ideas for the ending. When it was finally written, I asked him to film what we had so that way I could finish editing. It turned out that he lost his rule number 2 shirt, so he came up with the idea to play drunk and end on a way different note. Perfect way to solve a problem. When he first emailed me, he may have had like 1,000 subscribers, but I saw potential in his work, so I agreed to do a video with him. He's funny as hell, and this video I think had our best elements put in one place. But we had a brief campaign going on too. I would crash his video to announce it, and then I would crash his video after the collaboration to discuss my battle jacket. All in the name of advertising. Both of my artists, Bree and Ariel, would advertise the video too. A lot goes into making artwork, and I think they both enhance the experience. Metalheads Watch Monster Dog was a team effort. Everybody involved pulled their weight, and it paid off wonderfully. Daria is my favorite TV show of all time. I never get tired of watching it, and I can quote it all day long. It only made sense that I do an impersonation video of all the characters. It was unscripted. I tried to script it, but I got to 2 lines and I thought it was way harder than necessary. So I got in front of the microphone and the iPad and improvised for 50 minutes. I got tired of explaining to my online friends why I hate holidays, so I put it all in one place. I was surprised to see how many people agreed with most of these points. Yeah, the conformists are always going to have problems with everything, but it's good that this could comfort anyone else that doesn't like the scams that holidays are. With Christmas just around the corner, it was good timing to publish it. There are lots of videos on why people don't like Christmas, but why stop there? Hate them all! Ha 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 ha! I got in a big kick for Slayer, so I bought their Vinyl Conflict box set. This video had to be fun and enthusiastic, so I drank some Mountain Dew and Monster and went to work. I usually try to stick to talking about underground stuff, but this box set was so decadent that I had to make a video about it. As for the mindfuck that was Sweating Foreman, this stems from a private joke that I've had for years. When I was 12, I was in the car listening to Sweating Bullets when the thought came to me, it sounded like a metal musical. Immediately, the thought came into my head. Dave Mustaine sounds like the Foreman elf from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. This video was brought to life with stupidity in mind. I used Keynote for the Dancing Foreman parts, and I was pretty surprised to see how many lines actually synced up with his mouth movements. I expected everybody to dog this video, but the reaction was surprisingly good with comments such as, I feel like you smoked a joint before making this, and bloody hell did I just watch. The final video of the year was a simple review of 9 Inch Nails' Not the Actual Events, the EP that just came out. I gotta say, 2016 was a great year for the channel, and an ambitious one at that. A marathon happened, a collaboration happened, lots of rare albums were shown, lots of new territory was explored, and I got to meet some great people by doing so. The videos have gotten better, and the channel has gained more notoriety because of it. Killbot&GorGorAttack will attack, and continue to attack, and when in doubt, it will attack again. Grind on.